Ladies and gentlemen, today is an interesting day because normally as far as a new season goes, we don't get the new information or the roadmap for what is coming in that season until the week of that season, generally speaking on the Monday. However, today we got all of the information for Season 5, everything that's coming. We've got things like a brand new game mode that's kind of like Among Us. On top of that, we have the new operators, new weapons, all the maps, everything that is coming out in Season 5. And as per usual, when this happens, in this video, I'm going to be going over everything that is actually coming within Season 5. And I have to say, it is looking pretty interesting. And as per usual, let's dive in and let's start out by looking at the roadmap. So first off, front and center, you can see right in the middle, we have our new operator Kitsune. We've already talked about this character, and I'm sure we'll be going over her more once Season 5 actually comes out. But having a look in the top left-hand corner, the first and the biggest thing that they are promoting with this season is the new game mode called Double Agent. And essentially, this is Among Us in Call of Duty. It's a really interesting idea, and I'm very interested to see how it plays out. Now, basically, the way to look at this is you have two different teams. You have your double agents, and then you have the normal operatives. The normal operatives' job is to track down the double agents and kill them. The double agent's job is to plant bombs and have them go off while taking out the operatives one by one. There's also an investigator on the operatives team that can go around the map and get clues as to who the character is. So for example, within the trailer, they go to a radio, and at the radio, it tells them that the operator is male, who is the double agent. So pretty interesting concept. I don't exactly know how it'll work, because if the double agent's job is just to plant the bomb at a given bomb site, what's stopping the operatives from just camping those bomb sites and figuring out who it is? Not 100% sure. I guess we'll find out how it works once it comes out, but I will say, I think this is a pretty damn good idea. It's just going to be interesting to see how it works out. The other game mode that we have coming out later in the season is Demolition. So this one's pretty straightforward. This is actually a mode that Infinity Ward started, and now obviously it is coming to Treyarch's game Black Ops Cold War as well. The next thing that you'll see on the roadmap is a lot of 6v6 maps, which I personally really like. So to start out, we have the one that we saw in the trailer. So this one is called Echelon, and it is the compound that you see in Teufelsberg that is in the cinematic trailer, and it takes place after that trailer. So part of the building has been blown up and you are fighting on it. Should be a pretty interesting map. The second map that we have is of course Slums. You probably saw that in the Double Agent trailer as well. As far as Slums goes, it's a fan favorite map. It's been in many Black Ops games before, and it's making a return at the launch of Season 5. The other map at launch we have is the 2v2 or gunfight map. This one is called Showroom, and as far as this goes, this is taken directly from the Pines Mall in New Jersey that we saw back in Season 1. It's just a smaller version of it that you'll be fighting in gunfight. Now later in the season, we are actually getting two other 6v6 maps, both of which are throwback maps to, I believe, Black Ops 1 for both of them. The first is Drive-In. This is one of my favorite maps of all time. It doesn't seem like it would be, but I do really enjoy this map. It's a drive-in, pretty straightforward. And then the second map that we have is another really good map called Zoo. Both of these are throwback maps to Black Ops 1, and it's going to be really interesting to see them and how they play in Cold War. Now, the new score streak that we have coming to the game is the Flamethrower. This one's pretty straightforward. It'll work like the War Machine or Death Machine, where you can continue your streak even using the Flamethrower. I think this will be pretty cool. I really enjoyed it in previous Black Ops games, so no big surprises here. The next thing that we have here is zombies, and there is an interesting amount of zombies content here. The first thing that we have is the new perk called Death Perception. So as far as this perk goes, the only thing we know as of right now is it allows you to see obscured enemies by giving them a bright outline. Now, they say in the blog that essentially the secret sauce of this perk lies within the 5 additional upgrades, which they don't give us in the blog. So we'll have to wait to see once this one actually comes out, what it actually does. There's also a new field upgrade called Tesla Storm, and essentially what this does is between you and your teammates, it causes a giant lightning storm that stuns and deals damage to nearby zombies, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm interested to see how strong this one actually is. There's also a new outbreak region, which is Collateral. We already have this in multiplayer, so no surprise that they are adding it in as well. On top of this, they're adding a new outbreak objective, which is transport. Essentially what this is you move the transport truck to different areas and help escort it and make sure zombies don't stop it. Pretty straightforward. There's also a new vehicle, which is the tank. That'll be very interesting to see how that is balanced out with the other zombies. And then a new item that you can craft, which is a grapple gun. Now, I'm super interested to see what happens with this, because I would love to see a grappling gun come to Warzone. We know it's not there yet, but the fact that they've added it into the game might be the start towards that. And fingers crossed, I would love to see that, because it would be the anti-camper machine within Warzone. Moving over to Warzone, essentially here we have a new map update, new mode, new gulag, and new perks. So first off, we have the new points of interest, which are the mobile broadcast stations. And as far as these goes, essentially they are trucks with tall towers on them. They're really not going to change up the map whatsoever. That being said, it does look like there is some sort of Easter egg revolving around them because there's redacted information in the blog, and generally that means there's an Easter egg. So we'll have to wait to see exactly what's going on at these points, but there's nothing too crazy with them. The new gulag for the season is going to be Rush, the paintball arena. Pretty straightforward, not much to say on this one. And then we have the new game mode. So the new game mode is coming in season, so not at launch, and it is called Clash. And essentially what this is you play in quads, and it is team deathmatch. It's the first quad to get 200 points or 200 kills wins. It's going to be pretty fast paced. I actually really like the idea of this one. We'll have to wait to see how it goes, but all in all, I'm interested. I'll probably give it a shot. Then we have our two new perks. So the first one that we have here is called Combat Scout. And essentially what this one does is if you shoot someone and you are using this perk, it highlights them in bright orange and automatically pings them for your teammates. So basically telling you or telling your team where the enemies actually are. It's an interesting one. Will it be meta? Not 100% sure, but it's definitely interesting. The second perk is called Tempered, and essentially what this one does is make it so that 2 armor plates fully regenerate your armor. So in other words, instead of having to put 3 armor plates on, you only have to put on 2. Each of them is 75 points of damage. Pretty straightforward. It is in the perk 2 slot, which I don't know if this will get much use over, say, Ghost or Overkill, but we'll have to wait and see. So after this, we move into our items that are the same in both Black Ops Cold War and Warzone, like new weapons and new operators. So speaking of operators, the first one that we have is going to be a part of the Battle Pass, and that is Kitsune. This is obviously the Perseus agent that we saw in the cinematic trailer. Pretty straightforward. After this, we have Striker, and as far as this character goes, he's a NATO character. He's the one we saw fighting alongside Woods in that cinematic trailer. I'm interested to see what his story is if he was working that close with Woods. And then finally, the most interesting one to me that is coming out in season, once again, another NATO operator. We have Hudson. Hudson's making his return to multiplayer. Pretty cool. Of course, we saw him in the campaign, and he will be there once again. So moving on to weapons, the first one that we have is the EM2. It is an assault rifle, and as far as this one goes, it has a built-in scope, a slow fire rate, but good firing control. In other words, low recoil. This one will be interesting. Generally speaking, these harder hitting weapons don't do that well in Warzone. You have weapons like the Odin that are just kind of decent, not insane or anything like that. But all in all, we'll have to wait to see how good this one is. The next weapon we have is the Tech 9. This is a semi-auto SMG, which is very weird for Call of Duty. It is good at longer ranges, has low recoil, and a slow fire rate. So I have no idea how good this one is. In images, we've seen it akimboed, so I would assume you'll be able to akimbo it, but we'll have to wait to see because I have no idea how good this is going to be. Our melee weapon this season is a cane. This is pretty straightforward. I don't think I really have to explain this one. It's a cane. And then finally, the one that I have PTSD from is the Marshall. Now, the Marshalls were in Black Ops 3. You could akimbo them, and they were often a one-shot kill. This weapon also says it has a one-shot kill potential as well, which really worries me. One, if this can be akimboed, and two, using it in Warzone, I'll just say it right up front, I'm a little scared. So the last thing that we have is, first of all, new bundles and Battle Pass for Season 5. We'll probably get more information on this probably either tomorrow or Monday, so I'll keep you guys updated. But finally, the mid-season event for Warzone is called The Numbers. Now, there's been rumors about this being some sort of reveal for the next Call of Duty game, and I think it'd be a very interesting way to do so. This is kind of the event that has been building up throughout the entire story of Black Ops Cold War's version of Warzone. So something's going to be happening with this. It should be big, and of course when it does, I will keep you guys updated on that. But let's just say, to say the least, I am very, very interested. So ladies and gentlemen, that is everything coming out in Season 5. We've got a lot. The double agent mode I'm really interested in. I really liked Among Us, so if it works out like that, I think I'll really enjoy it. We also have some zombies content, and of course some Warzone changes coming as well. I'm wondering if the meta is going to change up much based off of those new perks. That'll be really interesting. And then the new POIs, I have to say, pretty lackluster, nothing too special there, but we'll have to wait and see how that actually turns out. But as always with this, I'm curious what you guys have to say about Season 5. Let me know what you think of everything coming out down in the comments below. Personally, I think the coolest thing is we're actually getting a whole bunch of 6v6 maps for Black Ops Cold War, some of which, or most of which, are returning from Black Ops 1, but nonetheless, it's good to see these actually return and us get some 6v6 content. Also, if you enjoyed the video, it is always appreciated if you hit that like button. It does really help out the channel, and if you're new here, like staying up to date on everything Call of Duty, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn notifications on. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making true.